New this morning, reaching for the American dream. A Twin Falls mom recently traveled to Mexico to continue the process of applying for permanent residency on a spousal visa. But what was supposed to be a quick trip across the border turned out to be a traumatizing experience for her. Brenda Rodriguez joins us now live in studio. Brenda, what is the latest on this Idaho woman's case?
Yes, Doug. Miriam Herrera has been on this 5-year journey to get her green card based on her husband's U.S. citizenship. But at her recent appointment with the U.S. consulate, she was denied. And now she is stuck in Mexico. I was able to talk to the couple over Zoom from the home where they're staying at while they wait to be able to return to the U.S. And now, with the help of her attorney and a U.S. senator, they say they hope to be reunited with their children soon.
We never thought that this would happen. It's very heartbreaking to see my kids wondering when I'm coming home.
Twin Falls residents Miriam Herrera and her husband Valdemar Tito Herrera flew to Ciudad Juarez, Mexico at the beginning of January to fulfill Miriam's dream of becoming an American citizen. But they've been in Mexico ever since, and not by choice.
Where we're at here, we stay inside. We don't go outside. It's all fenced in, barbed wire. We're scared. We don't want to go out. We don't know this place.
In Mexico, Miriam's application for citizenship was rejected. Now she says that she has been banned from re-entering the U.S. for 10 years.
At that point, I was in shock. I just was in disbelief. I was just like, why am I getting banned from entering the U.S. when I have done everything the right way? I've never worked because I didn't want to use an illegal name. I never drove it because I didn't want to get a ticket. I just wanted to do everything the right way.
The immigration process includes filling out the initial application, then getting a green card. After the person legally holds it for about 3 to 5 years as a resident, the naturalization process begins. For Miriam, it's been a long 5 years with high hopes only to get denied. This is the denial paper Miriam received from the U.S. consulate in Ciudad Juarez. Miriam says she entered the U.S. with her parents when she was 5 years old and again at the age of 7, and then she stayed in the country. But according to the U.S. consulate denial document, she was unlawfully present in the U.S. Miriam's attorney, Rose Roney, says the decision was an error made by the U.S. consulate.
In her case, the only thing was the unlawful present, and she already had that waived. So I will say that it's not typical in her case for that to happen. So it was a shock to all of us that was on the case.
And although Miriam's husband Tito says the news was devastating, they refused to give up.
Just thinking of solutions of what I could do, I started emailing. I started calling people.
Tito says he emailed state and federal elected officials seeking help.
They contacted quite a few people, actually. They got in contact with even the president, the vice president, the Idaho governor, and 2 of the senators. And Crapo was the first one to respond back.
A huge relief for the Herrera family was this letter they received from Idaho Senator Crapo's office.
I think within a few hours, they got an email saying that their case was being reviewed and that it did not apply to her, and they would get, turn in the passport, do all the proceedings as normal.
The letter asked the consulate to dismiss the original decision, making her waiver valid once again.
They send their paperwork, so we're waiting to hear back. So I'm hoping by next week I will have an answer from them.
And for the last couple of weeks, Miriam and her husband have stayed in the country they know very little about, just waiting for the moment they can return to their home.
I want this to get fixed. I want to be able to go back home to our kids. I want my wife to go home to her kids.
At this time, the Herrera family says that they are still waiting to hear back from the U.S. consulate in Mexico. Their attorney says this process could take up another week or so, and Rose, Tito, and Miriam say they hope Senator Crapo's involvement will help speed up the process and get the couple back to their home state. And Doug, we did reach out to Senator Crapo's office about the involvement in the case, and they are not commenting at this time.
As it works its way through the process. Brenda, thank you. Of course, we'll continue to follow Miriam's story and bring you any updates here on Wake Up Idaho.